Tattooing is often viewed as a technical process, with the artistic aspects being overlooked. As expected, tattooing shares many of those aspects with other artistic practices, but there are several that place the unique art of tattooing in a realm all its own. On an average day, a tattoo artist may be confronted with a number of obstacles before he's able to create a piece. Collaborating artistic ideas with amateurs often leads to long and possibly trivial preparation. This alone can take its toll.
It's different with every tattoo. You know, I spend a lot of time just thinking about a tattoo before I even start drawing it. Some tattoos come pretty easy, you know, depending on the design. It might take me 15 minutes to draw something up. There's stuff I've worked on I've spent more time drawing it than I have tattooing it.
First, you really just have to work with your client, and it's really a collaborative thing, you know. I mean, some people are really descriptive and I want this, you know, and some people kind of are a little more open, and
it can be frustrating, but it can be really fun. We have to satisfy the client, but we have the clients that let us just have free reign. They just give us a few keys to go off of, and then that's it. You know, they kind of let us do our thing. On the other hand, you get clients that try to design the piece for us. You know, they know exactly what they want, and they won't accept any less. So, you know, it's kind of our job to steer them in the right direction.
I would start really light with a red pen or a red pencil, and then kind of go darker, then take that, trace that, and then go from rough into cleaner, into cleaner, into cleaner. Then I need to be able to make a stencil, so I usually use micron pens to make a line drawing, then you can make that into a stencil.
We do a lot of freehand stuff, you know, have a good idea, and just take the markers and go right to the skin with it.
As hard as they try, there is one obstacle the artist can never truly prepare for: working with the ever-expanding and constantly changing varieties of skin.
Well, the difference between canvas or paper versus people, I mean, that's a huge, huge difference. Yeah, you have to take into account how they feel, how well they can sit, how well they tolerate pain. And there's some stuff you can do to kind of help that, you know, keep them talking or keep their mind off of it, but it's a big difference, and it's a learning curve all on its own.
It goes both ways, you know. When I'm sitting in my room drawing by myself, it's one thing, you know, but I get to have a lot of really cool conversations and hang out with people. Some things are way more difficult. You can torn yourself into a weird position, throwing out your back and just trying to get to this one weird spot, or my elbow's in your face and I'm trying to, you know, it can get a little weird that way, I guess, sometimes.
Everybody's skin is so different. Even through the course of a tattoo, the reaction of their skin will change. You know, whether they didn't get enough rest, their diet's a little off, they didn't eat before they came in. You know, you can start out with a great skin, and then a couple hours into it, they start getting wore out, and their skin starts acting differently.
Advancements in equipment and technology have had a massive impact on the art of tattooing. Better understanding of the equipment used and the ability to share artwork instantly over the internet create both positive and negative fallout.
For one, the tools that we use, the needles. You know, back in the day, it was just one type of needle, and now people are really starting to understand how the skin reacts, and they're paying a lot more attention to the physiology of the skin, and that in turn is going back into the development of better tools, getting sharper needles, different size needles to achieve different effects. Granted, we're working on a finite area. It's just the body. There's only so much you can do to the body, but the technical aspect of it keeps growing the understanding of what can be done with a tattoo keeps growing. And the creativity of the people doing the tattoos, it's never going to stop. We all kind of feed off each other. We talked about social media earlier, and that's huge for the tattoo industry. You used to have to wait for a magazine to come out every month and see who they featured, to see what was going on. And now I can open my Instagram and I can look through 100 of the world's top artists.
People bringing in reference of someone else's tattoo, it does happen, and I'm sure it happens everywhere, but we try not to do it. We'll say that we can do something like it, but we're going to draw our own piece. It's something that's custom that no one else is going to have. I think like Pinterest, Instagram, stuff like that is kind of partially to blame for people bringing in stuff like that. But then again, if somebody sees something they like, why can't they have it? I don't know.
Yeah, we get it quite often where somebody will bring in a picture of a tattoo that they found on a social media site or Google, and they come in and they're like, I want this. No, that's a custom piece that was drawn for that person. I'm not going to do that. For one, I'm an artist. I can take your idea and design you something to fit yourself. And two, I respect the artist that did it, so I'm not just going to flat out copy them.
Usually they're really cool about being talked to them about, well, I'll give you something really similar to this or these elements and this idea, and I'll reimagine it and make it something original. And most people want something original, but they don't understand that that's how that works. They'd probably see that person's tattoo and think they went and picked it off of something. And so when it's like that, but some people really aren't happy to hear that. You don't want to take that person's tattoo, make a tracing off of the tattoo, and then tattoo it on them. And I don't see why you want to share a tattoo with somebody else that you don't know.
So I think the advancement over the last few years is just people getting better and clients willing to let the artists do their thing too. I think that helps a lot.
Traditions like the apprenticeship process have helped shape tattooing since it began.
To have somebody there to mentor you, to let you know all the tricks of the trade so you don't have to figure it out yourself, it's definitely a huge plus. I mean, just like with anything.
Yeah, that's a really important process. That's been done pretty much forever, student, master, student, master.
I think apprenticeship is key. I think without it, you're running blind, and that's not good. It's people's skin, it's their livelihood, it's their health.
Makes you look at the things you do and reevaluate them, and you can learn something from anybody.
Recent trends, such as tattoo artists completing some type of formal art schooling, play a beneficial part in the developing practice.
If you're a tattoo artist, you typically are an artist in general, painting or drawing, colored pencil, marker, whatever medium that they enjoy or that they're comfortable with. And I think a lot of other artists would agree, the more mediums you are good at, the better all around you can be at tattooing as well.
I myself have picked up different genres of doing more painting, just different stuff to help expand, my understanding of art.
I went to school for graphic design, and by the time I got out of school, I was getting into tattooing. I mean, going to school for arts, that was a great thing. It helps you get that mindset.
Definitely beneficial. There's, especially now, like you say, there's so many tattoo artists that are coming out of school with an art degree, whether it's graphic arts, fine art, anything like that. And it's showing in today's tattoos. The composition of tattooing, what people are considering to be, I don't want to say a legitimate tattoo, but the acceptance of what a tattoo should be is completely changing because of that influence, the art background. We're getting all these different genres of artists that are coming in and really changing the way tattooing is looked at.
Formal art training, I think, is a positive thing. I think it's good, but not everyone needs that. Someone's got a knack for painting, they might not need that formal training. There's numerous artists and tattoo artists in the industry that don't have any formal training at all.
The public's need for deep meaning behind every tattoo has had interesting consequences.
I think I've got 2 tattoos that have any meaning behind them. I understand why people think it's necessary. A tattoo is a very personal, lifelong decision, and so they want it to mean something. They want to be happy with it for the rest of their life.
Media coverage has really pushed that too. You watch a lot of reality tattoo shows, and first thing they do is when they get in the chair, it's, why are you getting this tattoo? Well, it's because of...
I mean, you can always wear a cool piece of art. That to me, that's the biggest thing. Like when I look at tattooing and all these tattooers I want to get tattooed by, I don't really give a what they tattoo on me. You know, I know what they do, and if I get something that they do, I don't care. It's going to be awesome, and I want a piece of their work on me forever. And that's what's so cool about tattooing.
Tattooing's transition from flash-dominated tattoo parlors into custom artwork-focused tattoo shops has had a huge effect on the rapidly evolving profession.
For years, you walked into a tattoo shop and the walls were covered in flash, and you picked out what you wanted, and that's what you got. But with the way people are perceiving tattoos and understanding tattoos and what can be done with tattoos, that's definitely changing. There's still plenty of flash shops out there, and that's a huge part of the tattoo history, and it's never going to go away. There's a lot of people that love that stuff.
We draw everything by hand, don't really use any flash, at all, and sometimes it's good to have around just for ideas.
I think flash, I think there's still a need for it in certain areas, but custom shops are just kind of the way it is now.
It is clear there are endless possibilities for the future of tattooing. One can only imagine what's next for this very unique artistic practice.
So I could see just seeing tattooing as more of a legitimate, honored art form, not just a novelty.
There's like Miguel Mercado, Phil Garcia, and Cecil Porter that are just doing insane paintings of people's skin. I mean, how much farther can you really go?
Rather than these artists just displaying their paintings in museums, I could see it getting to a point where the pictures of so-and-so's work, tattoos, hung on the wall, because that's really the level of tattooing that's being done right now. It's pretty amazing.
Between media and people accepting it and the quality of work getting just so much better, I think it's gonna just keep growing. The industry is growing, products are getting better, ink is getting better. So I think it can only grow, and I hope it does.
I am happy, God,